What up, Spoonies? So I had received a comment on my pain pump video asking about what treatments I've tried, and I guess that kind of falls into why I'm finally getting a pain pump. So I was going to kind of go over interventional treatments, and then I also wanted to talk about the pain management task force and what they just came out with, as far as their recommendations, and hopefully we can get that passed into the law so that it helps the pain patients. So I've tried a lot a lot of treatments. Initially, when I was first diagnosed, the immediate answers throughout my life has always been surgery. I've had a lot of surgeries, and then from there, I did massage therapy and reflexology. So they would rub my feet, my back, because I don't know if you've ever looked into reflexology, but they believe that the feet is connected to every part of the body. So I did that, and then I also did something called tuning, where they would take, and it was literally like a tuner, like a musical tuner, and it was like a big long metal fork, and you would hit it and it would vibrate really strongly, and she would hit the thing, make it vibrate on a rubber thing. She would make it vibrate really strongly, and then she would hold it against my stomach and try to break up the adhesions in my stomach. And that wasn't too painful. That was tolerable most of the time. Usually I would have the effect the next day where it was really painful. So I guess you could say maybe it was working. But as far as I could tell, usually I would still have pain days, weeks later. So it wasn't really worth it, especially when you consider the cost of it. Most interventional treatments are not covered by insurance plans, and most of the treatments that I tried were either not covered by my insurance or were not covered enough by my insurance. So I also went to a chiropractor, did chiropractic therapy. I did electrotherapy, where they put the little pads on my back and my stomach and shocked me, thinking that the electro currents could help with the pain. A lot of people will get those pain. I think initially a lot of people thought pain pumps were the electro pumps that they were putting in people that would just send electrical currents through their spine to help with pain. And I've heard from a lot of people that those didn't work for them, which is sad. I would really, it makes sense that it would work, that it would reconnect the electrical current that sends it to your brain, saying that you're in pain, or whatever their reasoning is to say it works. I also had pain blocks done, which from my understanding is when sorry, I had a piece of food on my mouth. So it's also my understanding that is where they put like a anesthetic, so like lidocaine or some other kind of anesthetic, a numbing anesthetic, into the abdomen area with a anti-inflammatory to help reduce pain and keep pain away. I did one pain block, and initially, like immediately after it was done, because they only did a local anesthetic on me, so I was awake through it, but I was just kind of like foggy, I guess, so I didn't really care that they were sticking a giant needle in my stomach. But immediately when I came out of the OR, I was in horrible pain, and I immediately told the nurse that my pain level had increased, it hadn't decreased. And she was like, well, just give it some time, it'll go away. So they had to keep me there for, I think it was an hour after they had done the block. And I told her again, I was like, my pain's still really bad. It's not getting better. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to go get the doctor. She disappeared for a few minutes, came back, and she was like, well, he said that, you just need to give it some time and we're going to discharge you. Call us tomorrow and let us know how you're doing. So I called him the next day. I called him that night because it was still really bad. And they informed me that I needed to take Tylenol or an ibuprofen and it would be okay. And the next day it just worsened and worsened. And since I had that pain block done, I don't think I ever really got much better. Like, I think it worsened me immediately after I had that block done, and it's not ever really gotten better since then. I did lidocaine infusion therapy. I don't know if that was something I had seen. Actually on a Facebook group, I'd seen someone post that they had tried it. So I started Googling for places in my area that offered the lidocaine therapy. And I found a pain management group. And when I called them to ask if they did pain management therapy, they were actually kind of shocked that, one, I was calling and asking for something other than pain medication. So they told me I needed to come in and meet the doctor. So I came in and I met him. And on my initial evaluation with him, he was kind of like, well, you're here to get lidocaine infusion therapy. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I've heard it work through other people. I was like, I'm interested in trying it. I've tried this and this and this. It doesn't work. So he was like, well, so you have Hirschsprung's disease and adhesive disease and endometriosis and post-operative neuropathy pain and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, how do you know you have endometriosis? And I was like, from surgery. And he was like, okay. He's like, well, in order to actually know you're in pain, it needs to be diagnosed surgically. And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing, but okay, thank you for telling me. So he approved the lidocaine therapy. So I started that. I did 3 or 4 rounds of it. Now, I want to say that during the lidocaine therapy, so one thing about lidocaine therapy is it's an anesthetic, and it can be very dangerous because it makes your heart rate go so high that people have literally had heart attacks from getting the infusion. So they have to give it at such a slow rate. You have to be in the room with a nurse the whole time you're getting the infusion, and so it takes a little bit of time, and then obviously you have to have the IV to do it and everything. So my very first infusion therapy, during the actual infusion, I felt amazing. I was like, wow, this stuff is amazing. Like, this is gonna work. This is awesome. I'm so excited. Like, I went home that night and I cleaned my house and I was like, yes, this is awesome. And he told me, he was like, usually, he was like, it works for, he's like, you'll feel the best effects of it for 24 hours. He's like, and then it wears off. He said, and then you have to have a few of the therapies and they build on each other and then it gets better, even better. So I was like, great, this is it. This is my answer. This is what I've been looking for. So I did the second therapy. And after that second therapy, I didn't really feel much different. During the infusion, I felt the numbing effect, but it was like almost immediately once I got out to the car, it was gone. And I was like, this is not good. So I did the third one, and it was the same way. I did it, and it was like almost immediately it was gone. So after that, I decided the cost of it was not worth the time, and obviously it wasn't helping my pain any more than taking a pain pill that I could pay $20 that for a month's worth versus $300 for one treatment of that lasted one day. So I told the doctor, I was like, I'm not gonna move forward with any more of the infusion therapy. So they offer ketamine, I think is what it's called, ketamine. Don't knock me if I'm wrong. I will link it below, though, what it actually is called. And he did say that that was another option. It was similar to the lidocaine infusion. It's a pain infusion. It was said to be help with pain. It was better. It would help longer. And at that point, I was just kind of like, I'm not going to keep wasting money and then and it not work. Because at this point, I was heartbroken that I had tried another treatment, wasted more money, and came out with the same result. I was still in pain. So I finally went back to my GI, my gastro doc, and I told my gastro doc this is where I was at. I had tried all these therapies. I had done physical therapy. I had done the massage and electrotherapy and the tuning and the vibration and the massage and the chiropractor, and I've done herbal oils that people swear up and down, essential oils, and I've tried herbal supplements. I went into GNC one day and they have this giant book sitting on a thing, and you can flip through the book, and like they can't say they're diagnosing you, but you can look through the book and say you have migraines. So you can look at the migraines and it'll connect you to herbal supplements that are known to help with migraines, something like that. So I went into GNC one day and I started flipping through that book, and if I had that issue or this issue, I would buy that supplement. And I took those supplements for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, nothing. So I got to the point where I was like, this is it. I'm done. If you can't do another surgery on me to fix me, if this is where I'm at in life, then what answer do I have? I live every day in pain. I can't clean my house. I can't play with my kids. I'm getting to a point where I can barely get up and go to work. Medications, as far as the narcotics and everything else, was becoming a war. You're made to feel like a criminal if you need pain medicine, God forbid. I get up every day and go to work, but yet I get judgment if I need to go pick up my medicine from the pharmacy. So he looked at me and he finally said, I'm going to send you to get a pain pump. He was like, I really think at this point this will be the best option for you. He was like, as I've said in my previous video about the pumps, they go in at a slower rate, so you're actually taking less medication than you think you are, because it goes directly to the spinal fluid. I have literally for months, actually it's been over a year now, that I debated getting the pump, that I did every single scenario in my head, why I should do it, why I shouldn't do it, what benefits does it have. I did so much research on the doctor that is going to be implanting it in me, that I went in his office with a list of questions and research, and he looked at me and he said, you are the first patient that has ever came in here with this much information on me and questioned this much about it. He said, so I know that this is serious to you. And it is. I'm 28 years old. I'm 28 years old, and I am going to have a pain pump implanted into my body for likely the rest of my life. And if this becomes the wrong choice, then I'm screwed, basically. I mean, obviously the pump could be removed, but then what? I mean, I'm going to have horrific withdrawals from not having the medication in my system. And I mean, like I said, I went through every single scenario. What could happen if I'm in the car with my kids and that pump malfunctions and I get overdosed, or if I get underdosed and I immediately start having withdrawals. There's my little one. And I mean, I went through everything. So there he is. And I'm just to that point where I'm going to take my chance and do it. And I'm praying that it's the right choice, because this one deserves someone to play basketball with him and not have a mommy that hurts all the time, huh? And a mommy that wants to play, and a mommy that wants to do fun stuff. right?
Mhm.
So that's our goal. That's what we want. So I have tried more than enough things. I encourage everyone to try as many things as you can. You never know. It could be your answer. It wasn't for me, unfortunately. I prayed so many times while I was taking everything and trying things that it would be an answer, and it wasn't, unfortunately. But maybe someday, and hopefully this is my answer. We went to play putt-putt the other night, and I was walking around with my putter and my golf balls and stuff. And I realized as I was walking around with my putter that I may need a cane soon. Using the putter as I was walking up the hills and walking around the putting thing, really benefited me. And someone like me that has mainly abdominal pain, I mean, that's where most of my pain is, it shocked me that it helped so much, because I was like, that's kind of weird that abdominal pain would affect so much. But like my doctor said, like the pain pump is going to cover, hopefully, from under my breast to my pelvis, which is where all of my pain goes from my colon issues, from my Hirschsprung's disease, all the way to my pelvis area, from my endo, and I've had a hysterectomy and all that other fun, wonderful things. So, but like I said, I encourage you to definitely try as many interventional things as you can before you have to make this kind of decision. It wasn't my first choice. I tried everything that I could before it came down to this decision. But we're praying for the best, and I will be recording the day of surgery when I go into it. I will be recording my experience afterwards, and we'll just be doing things. So I got to get off here because I got to take this one to baseball. He's got a game.
See, baseball. Baseball, right.
So,
no, show my baseball sign right here.
Yeah, he's got a baseball shirt on. He's got his uniform on. So I'm going to sign off here. So gentle hugs to all of you, my favorite spoonies, and many loves and hugs. And subscribe, like my video.
Mom,
I will link whatever I can down below in regards to therapies and
you're
things
making
like
me...
that. So I'll see you later. Bye.